Good morning, Sam.
Good evening, Mallory.
Welcome back to Nobody Leaves, a podcast where we're eternally trapped with each other in a death dance spiral to the end of time. And to, just kind of make the best of that time, make the best use, we recommend each other different media.
A lot of feel-good stories.
Feel-good stories, stuff to kind of really just chill you out, relax you, get your vibe just kind of centered. So that's why this week we will be discussing I'm Glad My Mom Died with Jeanette McCurdy. So that's going to be fun.
Mallory, we're an actual book club now.
Yes, finally. We talked about the concept of this podcast being a book club, that we're recommending each other the books each week. This is our first actual book.
Yes, we've just been playing video games and watching anime.
Yeah, I know. I'm fully imagining book club that I've started in like high school, and it's just a room for me and my friend to sit and play Smash Bros or something together.
The Gen Z book club.
Yes, no, absolutely. But yeah, no, that's what we're going to be discussing today. But before that, Sam, just wanted to hit you in because, this podcast, we've been going for a while. We've really been getting at it and getting after it. And, we're not necessarily exploding in popularity. Yeah.
No, we are definitely not exploding in popularity, but we did hit a cool milestone this week.
No, we're hitting milestones. We're I think for two unknowns making a podcast from nothing, we're doing pretty good for ourselves. We're averaging a nice number of views, but I felt like really what is missing is just investment. I'm just not investing in the podcast enough. So I've made an investment. I've decided to get something I think is going to turn this all around, baby. I think that we're really about to upgrade to the next level and just jumpstart to the next tier of podcasts. So
it's not another riddle, is it?
It's not.
Is it another riddle? Quiz?
Although no, there's no Blackbeard's quiz this week. We're still, the fans have been clamoring for Blackbeard's quiz, but we're not monkeys. We're not just gonna give it to them immediately. They'll get back Blackbeard's quiz back when they're good and ready for it. No, this week I've invested in a piece of equipment that's really gonna take our podcasting to the next level. Are you ready for the reveal?
I don't know, so go ahead and let's see this. What is this? Audio only fans, Mallory is reaching behind her desk for something. Dear God. The lighting, I thought it couldn't get worse. What is it?
Okay, so I'm seeing, I've placed it up on the shelf, and from what I can see, it just looks like a huge glowing rectangle.
That is true. Is it not a huge glowing rectangle?
Let me see if it gets better if I just here we go. Look at that.
On air?
Aww. On air. Mallory, we're on air now.
It's in the bisexual lighting. We are professionals.
I've bought a neon sign that says on air. It's way too bright to be perceived. It's completely ruining the color scaling of everything on my camera, as if it was even good to begin with. And I'm just gonna have that here, and that's just gonna kind of let the people know that we're on air. People know.
People will know.
This is us.
10 episodes from now, people are gonna be going, "What's the glowing box behind Mallory's head?"
That's, in a way, I have introduced another riddle to the podcast, because people are going to be like, what is just that light source emitting from behind you?
It's all I can look
at
now. I'm ruined.
It's cool. It's really, really cool. I hopped on the call and I turned on my video and I saw that it was already up there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, this was supposed to be a reveal, and I turned my camera off quickly, and Sam luckily I managed to get my arm in the way.
Somehow I didn't catch it. I guess it was turned off, because if it had been turned on,
it was kind of over here. It was with the Kuromis, and I realized that it's going to get covered up unless it's here, right next to my head. But yeah, we're on air, so
we are on air. We're doing it live, except for we don't do it live at all.
Pretty lame. I want you to know that I walked past this sign like 3 months ago, and I was like, "We're not ready. We don't." I wanted it so bad, and I was like, "I have not earned this yet." And for
We
some
had to
reason,
hit
it just felt
20,000
like,
channel views before you could like invest in the on-air sign. Is that what you're telling me?
yeah, something about it. I was like, "It's time." like,
Dear God.
uh, but yeah. Anyway, Sam, how was your week?
I'm hanging out. I'm in there. I'm going to cinema. I've been watching some
He's in
cool
there.
things. Some of which I don't want to talk about yet because it will spoil my pitch later. But
Oh wow.
this will not be my pitch this week. But I went to the movie theater and I saw myself an old movie, which is something I've been
Ooh.
doing a lot this year. I watched a movie. Have you ever heard of In the Mood for Love?
Probably not. I feel like the title sounds like enough other titles to where
That is
I
fair.
could have, but
So it's one of those movies that I hear directors I like reference all the time, right? Like
yeah.
it's like we're in like true cinephile mode where it's like, oh, well, you've got to check out this piece of Hong Kong cinema. It's about two people who don't fall in love, and I'm like, well, that sounds like a grand time.
It's
But then
like
I
the
see
classic, like, you have to watch this French piece of cinema. It's just a guy looking at like a cardboard box the whole time. It's crazy. You know, like
Right.
it's giving that energy.
Some of those classic films like The Bicycle Thief have such like innocuous titles where it's like, is this a movie that's going to change my life or put me to sleep? Like, what is it? Like, I can pretend to be all about the cinema and all about movies, but there's a lot of movies that I am not too into, or I don't get, or I haven't done the work. I haven't put in the work, right, to be a true movie critic
Yeah.
or what have you. So I'm trying to build it back up with some of these. Like my local theater does a lot of throwback screenings, and this is one of them. I think. Well, I was doing some research on it before I went to go see it, and the New York Times just put out a big like 100 top movies of the 21st century, I think, and it is on there, and it's like, oh, okay. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of people can make lists, but all that to say, that's a whole lot of setup just to say it was really good. It's very dreamlike. It's very avant-garde. It is very like at times very naturalistically acted, and then other times it is very like strange and hard to pierce and hard to understand and follow. It's a lot of like vignettes of these two people falling in love very, very slowly, and you're kind of like you work your way through like halfway through this movie and you're like, do these people even know each other, or are they like like completely infatuated with each other, and it just kind of flips from one to the other almost like under your nose, and it's really good. It's very, very steamy, very noir-y. It has like this feeling of watching people's lives through like a thick piece of glass. Like I feel like the characters almost never are fully like in frame. There's just a lot of nerd composition shit going on in this movie that I really dug. And yeah, it was good.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm like I am glad to hear that it was a good one, because like I think with the whole preface you were setting up, I feel like both of us are very open to weird and strange art and things that aren't necessarily like, don't necessarily like fit the mold of expectation of what someone would consider like good or whatever. Like we're here for people to swing for the fences, but that can also be a risk. Like it can truly sometimes be like, all right, man, I don't really know where we're going with this one. So it
has
sounds
the
like
feeling
it
of a movie that would be taught in like a college setting, and I've been in some college film classes, and I've watched a lot of good movies in those classes, and then also like stuff that I just didn't get or didn't vibe with, like Truffaut is like the famous French director. Like I watched like the 400 Blows, and to be honest, it just didn't click with me. But I'll hear all kinds
after
of
the
directors
16th
reference it
blow.
all the time.
After the 16th blow, you were like, yeah, I get it. I pretty much understand where this is going.
Right. But like that creator inspired like that French director Truffaut, I think is his name, went on to inspire like Coppola or Scorsese and like directors that I am more familiar with and directors I do like more. And so was an experiment in like trying to understand like where movies have been. That being said, it's not that old of a movie. It's from like 2000. But it was really good.
That's cool. Awesome. Oh my god, tell me the title again.
In the Mood
Secrets
for Love.
Before Love.
In the Mood
for Love.
I
Yeah,
have heard it called the most
for
romantic
love.
movie of all time, and that is a very cynical take on romance in a good way.
Wow, interesting. Yeah. Did you feel were you stirred by it? Did you feel like it was romantic at the
I
end
was
of the
stirred by it, and I was also deeply, deeply invested in these two people by the end of the movie, which is a good feeling.
That's awesome.
It's very risque in what the subject matter is because it's two people who are both married and their spouses are cheating on them with each other, and you never see like the main guy's wife. You like never see her. Like you see her from the back every once in a while, and our female protagonist, you never see her husband. You just see like I think his hand and maybe you hear his voice a few times. Like they're like off to the side having an affair with each other, and then it's these two characters basically going like, well, I guess we'll fall in love, but we don't want to be like them. And it's all about like societal pressures, and like it takes place in like a specific time period where it's like discretion is like valued above all else, but at the same time everyone's cheating on everyone. Like those aren't even the only people being cheated on in the movie. Like there's just so much like there's so many affairs going on, and it makes for a very interesting like moral tale of like what is more important, like true love versus like social standing, and when is like emotional cheating versus like physical cheating. Like they don't they're trying for the entire movie to like not have sex with each other, but they are clearly connecting on like an emotional level that they never have with their partners. And so it's like, does it really matter? Like what is a line to cross, right?
Yeah.
It was cool. It was very good.
No, that sounds super interesting. I love this like just taking the subject of marital cheating and like expanding it out. Like I love that kind of movie or like story where it's like everywhere you look, like everyone else is doing the same thing that you feel insecure about. You know what I mean? And you have like a million character foils like looking back at you, and like the like trying to take the superiority like high road version of it, or like justify it to yourself in some way when it's like some weird base desire. Like that's very interesting sounding. You've definitely hooked me. I think this is very interesting. Is this showing at your cool movie theater?
It is showing at my cool movie theater that I'm trying not to say the name
That's
of. But you know it and I know it, and it's a cool movie theater, and I see a lot of good movies there. This is also where I saw Dog Day Afternoon, which I talked about many podcasts ago. And yeah, I'm just racking up older movies that are one day going to be on this podcast.
This guy's letterbox is crazy. Like this guy's he's seen stuff you've never heard of before.
Yeah, this
I
week
don't have
is
a letterbox.
Superman, In the Mood for Love, and then Eddington. So it's been a really strange trilogy this past week.
See, I kind of want to hear about Superman because I didn't know that a new Superman was coming out. And then you mentioned that you were going to see it, and I was like, this is news to me. What's up with the big guy?
I think it's really hard to make a good superhero movie these days. Through no fault of it. So it's James Gunn, right? Do you know who that is?
Oh, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yes. So it's James Gunn has had his own interesting journey from Marvel to DC, back to Marvel, back to DC. He's now spearheading. DC is essentially rebooting all of their superhero movies. Like, they put out a bunch of superhero movies. Largely, they didn't work. This is like your Man of Steels, your Batman versus Supermans, your Justice Leagues, your Justice League, a Zack Snyder film recut. Like, it's been a decade of minimal success, I would say, with the DC side of things,
Yeah.
while Marvel was having like its rise and now petering out.
I haven't seen a single one of those movies.
That is okay.
I know about, but I know about pretty much all of them. I know about Batman vs Superman. I know about Man of Steel. I know
Much
about the whole
lampooned,
Justice League thing.
Pretty much like
Yeah.
by like all of them, right? Like, I think people like
Suicide Squad.
people definitely don't like the Suicide Squad. They do like the James Gunn Suicide Squad, which was like kind of a course correction, and they like Peacemaker, which also came out of that, with John Cena. Now he's now in charge, and he's basically like, we're clearing the slate, and it's just gonna be the only thing they're carrying forward from the old stuff, it seems like, is Peacemaker, and now it's like, it's a new fresh start. You don't need to know anything. But also it's like, you know, we've seen a lot of origin movies. This is my third reboot of Superman in my lifetime, in our lifetime.
Yeah. I don't think anyone needs to. It's like, I feel like they're wasting the fact that it's Superman and everyone knows who he is and what his origin is. So it's very easy to jump in and tell a story about him, right?
Yes.
But
that's maybe the most interesting thing about this movie is it starts with like a Star Wars-esque like opening crawl, and it's like, he's Superman, she's Lois Lane, fucking deal with it, like, we're just going, right? And it felt almost like starting the MCU in like a phase 2 movie, if that makes sense. Like, if the MCU started and it's like, Winter Soldier, and it's like, you know who Captain America is, and that's his friend Bucky, and this and that, and Lex Luthor. Like, it, I thought that was a really good choice, because it's like, good lord, I don't need to see him fall from a rock in the sky and end up in Kansas and be a kid and learn to fly and all that. I don't need it. Like, I've been there, I've done that.
Wisdom on the
there's still some Pa Kent wisdom, but it's like relevant to what's going on in the current movie. This is, I would say, a strength of the movie, is it's like, we're gonna cut the fat and we're just gonna dive right into like what's going on in the current movie. And it doesn't, in some ways, it gets away from that feeling that like a lot of Marvel movies have of like, we're just moving chess pieces around and this is kind of a filler one while we're working towards something else. This is clearly working towards like expanding a big universe, but it also is a movie first. And that's like, I like that a lot, right? Like, it has a beginning, middle, and end. It doesn't end with like, but what will happen next time? It just ends. And it's like, all right, that was a Superman movie. Cool. It could never have another one, and it'd be like pretty much self-contained. All that being said, I have seen like 45 of these motherfuckers. Like, it's really hard to wow with a superhero movie at this point. Like, the fatigue has set in fully, I think. And unless you're doing something wildly different, you kind of know every beat the movie's going to take. And that's a bit how I feel with Superman.
Yeah, it is like, it was almost shocking to me that they were making a Superman movie. It's like, I feel like get over it, you know?
Right.
Like, it's like, clearly, and if you look at like what people like, it's like, clearly people wanted Guardians of the Galaxy, not just because James Gunn is like a good director, but because they're not like your classic superheroes. They're like scoundrels. And then people liked the Joker, and it was like, people want a different story, you know what I mean? And it's
right.
It's
and
just
James
really,
Gunn is
and
that like, or at least was that breath of fresh air that like knew his weird like 80s throwback style and his eclectic music taste and this and that. Like, he brought that energy, But now we've had that for a decade or 15 years or something.
Right.
Like, that's
like
kind of the problem. Is even with like that energy and that passion, and that energy and passion is in this movie. How many more times are we gonna do this? Like, I've just seen it too much. I don't know.
yeah, like I remember so clearly. It was 2015 when Guardians of the Galaxy 1 came out, and they had the song Cherry Bomb, and that was huge. That was huge for me.
I remember.
And like that was like a breath of fresh air in 2015. I was like, this is so cool. And like it's actually 10 years later, and it's like it's this guy's making superhero movies. That's crazy. That doesn't feel like what he should be doing. I don't know. It frustrates me, like the corporate level decisions that are happening that like make these movies possible. And I think there's also like, I think what you described of like, you know, this can be a self-contained movie. It doesn't leave you being like, oh, what's going to happen next, which is like a definitely a good feeling. But I think that there is like this underlying thing of like, everyone knows the Marvel DC wars. We trying to build a universe, like all this stuff. And it's like, you can't watch one of these movies without feeling like a sense of dread of like, okay, am I going to have to care? Like, this is asking me to care a lot about this iteration and this character and everything.
Right.
Like,
It does
by merit
everything
of
it
existing.
can to avoid that feeling. It's kind of impossible at this point. There's just been too many. Like, we're not even Marvel, DC, the X-Men movies, the Sony Spider-Man movies. Like, in 25 years, I think it really is like 60, 70 movies at this point. Like, that's a lot of movies. And I've seen almost all of them. It's like,
this guy's
oh,
crazy.
man.
This is the movie guy, you know.
I've
Not a lot of
seen them
movie
all.
guys are watching every single one. It's too much.
I haven't seen most of the X-Men movies, and I haven't seen the Marvels, which is like the only MCU movie I think I haven't seen. And yeah,
that's interestingly one of the few ones that I was like, maybe I should check that out.
I hear it's
Was that
pretty
that's
good.
the one with the kid, right?
Yes,
And
I've seen a little bit of
and they-
her show, of Miss Marvel's like TV show, but that was also when I was getting like burned out, when it was like, there's a new Disney Plus show every week, and I was like, I can't keep up with this anymore.
Yeah, WandaVision. I was like, y'all, we we cannot be. Maybe it's because I never made it all the way through Age of Ultron, so I don't fully understand like their backstory. Like I've read the Wikipedia article, but I did fall asleep in Age of Ultron after the party. I like the party scene where they're trying to get the hammer, but then I kind of tuned out. But yeah, I was like,
I made it to Moon Knight,
can't be
and then I
made-
kind of fell off, and it was like, I don't think I'm gonna watch everything.
who's
that's in
Moon
MCU
Knight? He's not
anymore.
even in it. He's not an Avenger.
He's
a
probably
Moon
never
Knight.
gonna show up again. That was just like, you know, they got Oscar Isaac, and I'm like, I like Oscar Isaac, and yeah, it was a show.
The Agent Phil Collins series, and it's like, come on, man.
I never went there, thankfully. That always felt like it was like a cheap budget with no
Stupid.
canality or what have you. But yeah, that's been
Like,
my
why do
week.
people-
Is superhero
yeah.
bullshit and like famous Hong Kong Kino cinema. So like, what's up with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, besides giving my amazing hot takes about how superhero movies are boring, I don't think any podcast is really brave enough to say that. I feel like I've watched a lot this week. I'm trying to recall. I've been keeping up with the two anime series I've mentioned. So I've been keeping up with Summer the Hikaru Died, and I've been keeping up with Dan Da Dan.
Dun, dun, dun.
Both very good. Dandadan, like, yeah. I mean, we're obviously gonna do a Dandadan episode, but I mean, powers have been received, and we're very happy. I don't think that's not a spoiler because everyone knows that all the main characters are gonna get powers. Obviously,
I'm looking forward
powers
to your
have been
evil
received.
eye drawing on your forehead several weeks from now, like 10 weeks from now.
Yeah, I'm curious about how the arc's gonna resolve, but I really like where it is so far. It
How many episodes
intrigues
have
me.
come out yet? Because I've not been following it because I saw the first 3 in theaters.
I believe. Oh no, it was the second or third. I believe it was the third. Yes.
Okay, so
that
they've
I've
had the
seen.
like artistic shift. Here's the backstory of this yokai like moment, right?
Yes,
Okay.
where the spoilers for Don to Don.
Yes, spoilers for Dawn to Dawn season
to
2
the
up to
latest.
episode 3.
Skip to this time if you don't want to get spoiled for Don to Don. I'm
You're not
actually
gonna
going to do
actually
that
do that.
because I know I am because I think because we're on air, Sam.
Okay. It's a new era for the podcast. We're putting in more effort.
I'm actually gonna do it because like we're gonna do a Don to Don episode, and like I want people who care about Don to Don to be checking into this podcast. But yeah, like I saw the like little kid dancing thing, and the little kid never gets to dance with like any other kids, and is sad. Part, if that's what you're referring to. I don't know if
Yes.
they get more backstory and lore at a different point, but it's you never know. But yeah, then they had like their big fight with the like soccer ball things, and it was really cool. And I was like, yes, give this to me. Like, give me the underlying resentments and tension being like expressed through this like physical combat with them at their tough thing. That was
A lot of
foreshadowed by the
Okarun
soccer
like
match.
aura
It's like,
farming in this
ugh.
first couple episodes.
Yes. So good. It's like one of those shows. It's so hard to like have a favorite character because you just love them all. Like Okarun's amazing. Momo, like time and time again, I'm so wowed by like just how much of a protagonist she is, you know, like, and how she's a quick thinker. She makes decisions. She says stuff. It's like she's so refreshing as like a female character in anime. And then yeah, like Gigi's whole thing was like so interested. I guess where I'm at with it is like his kindness being taken advantage of seems like maybe his like character flaw that is what they're trying to explore, but it's still there's some ambiguity there that like I'm not fully sure if that's what it is, but I did cry at the part where he's really nice to the kid, like the little monster ghost kid, and he's like, and he like gives 100% his like fake over the top happiness, and that's where you like really truly feel it's not subtext anymore. It's like, yeah, like his kind of goofy over the top like crazy persona is like something that he puts on and is very performative, and he's able to just like turn it on and switch it on when he feels like this kid needs it.
I mean, it is and
Man,
isn't,
that
right?
was
Like, I think
heartbreaking.
Gigi is like a good, happy guy, but we're seeing
Right.
him in this. That spirit made his parents like almost commit suicide, and that's like seems to be very traumatic, and he's like holding a lot of that in. The impression I get from him in this initial arc where we're meeting the character is that like he's like ready to like emotionally snap at any moment because he's just going through a lot, but he's trying to continue to be the wacky fun guy that he always puts on.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's a class clown, but he's going through some stuff that you can't really class clown your way out of, and it has unforeseen consequences.
Yeah, it's not that he's like secretly actually this dark brooding guy. Like it is truly a part of his personality, but it's also a tool that he can use to like, yeah, like you said, like get his way out of certain situations. But not this one.
Not this one.
And now he's like an evil, cool, buff demon guy.
Yeah,
with,
it's also like
cool...
what happens if
he looks
someone
so
who
sick.
like Okarun is like a wimpy nerd, right? And he gets Turbo Granny's powers, and it's like, well, he becomes much stronger, but he's still a wimpy nerd. What happens if like the jock gets the powers?
So good.
If the absolute
I
unit
love it.
that is
Yeah. No, it's good. He like depending on where things go, he really could be like, you know, clawing for the top spot in terms of characters that I'm just really drawn to. Like he's good. I like him a lot.
the squad will
and
continue
yeah.
to grow, and it's like the best thing
Yes.
ever.
Yes, love it. But yeah, that's I feel like that's the biggest impact stuff that I watched this week. Oh man, there's something else. If I don't remember it in like the next 5 seconds, it's gone forever, and I'm
Well, I
never
wanted to
gonna
ask you about the
remember it.
summer Hikaru died, right? Because
Oh
that's,
yes,
that's like a manga that I've been saving for a long time. Like, I'll read it eventually, and I'll probably really like it. And now the anime is here, and I've like run out of time, and I could watch it now. Now I have to make the choice between watching it and reading it. I know you're not much of a horror person, and this is very much like a horror series. The main thing I want to know, because I'm trying to make that decision of which way to go, like read the manga first or the anime, is it scary?
I mean, it is, like, I think conceptually scary. I think that I have such a, like, when a monster that's horrifying has, like, a sympathetic side to it, I am just like, oh, it's just a little baby. And I don't get scared of it anymore. I don't know if that's everyone's reaction, but I'm not, like, inherently freaked out by something just because it's, like, a weird shape. It has to, like, you know, be sinister in some way, I guess. I got a little bit scared in the most recent episode because of a thing that happened, but, like, generally, I think I'm just like, queer metaphors, character arcs. You know, I'm. That's kind of where my mind's at, and I'm not so scared, I guess.
Out of context, I've only seen like random panels here and there. It seems very creepy and very well done in the like panel composition of the manga, which is something that's like important to me, right? And I'm like, okay, well, the manga seems to be doing things really well. Does the anime bring stuff to the table where it's like worth having that be my first experience? And trying to determine that without spoiling anything for myself is it's a challenge.
Tough.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know, like, the friend who recommended it to me had, like, read the manga already and, like, said that it was really, really good, and it seems like one of those, I don't know, like, it seems like the manga would be really good, like, some of the concepts of drawings are really good, if that makes sense, and it's still, like, it's a well-done anime, but, like, yeah, you do get a vibe. I'm like, I feel like this is probably, like, a manga one, at least from the vibes that I get from it. But yeah, like, I'm a child and I've been painting a lot this week, so I just want to have some stuff on while I'm painting. So that's like just my preferred way of consumption. What am I gonna sit down and devote all of my attention to one thing at a time? Come on, no,
of course not.
But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's enjoyable. It's creepy and it's interesting. I did remember the other thing I watched, which is I've just completed my third rewatch of K-pop Demon Hunters. So really, like, it's on the third one that you're really just like, you know, you're just
a mutual friend of ours messaged me this week and said, K-pop Demon Hunters, not it. And I was like, yeah, you know, I get it. Oh yeah.
They're about to go from mutual friend to your friend.
There you go.
That I've heard of. Whoever that is, it's gonna tell me who it is as soon as we're off air. As soon as this sign turns off, I'm gonna be deleting your number, and so just know the countdown has begun.
Excellent.
Love K-pop.
Mallory, that sounds like a very
every
toxic way to approach relationships.
Well, I'm glad my friend died. I'm glad my friendship with that person died.
What happened to my good little girl? Where did she go? And who is this monster that has replaced her? You're an ugly monster now. I told your brothers about you, and they all said they disown you just like I do. We want nothing to do with you. Love, Mom. Or should I say Deb, since I am no longer your mother. P.S. Send money for a new fridge. Ours broke.
I'm glad my mom died. Amazing book. Absolute page turner. I read this about a year and a half ago. Loved it, enjoyed it, was so into it, watching all these interviews and stuff like that. I think that Jenna McCurdy is absolutely hilarious. I know we're joking about how deep it is, but she is just so funny, and I love her writing style, and because of that, I pitched it to you this week. So, what do you think of this story?
Let me tell you, I've had some strange listening material. I did the audiobook for I'm Glad My Mom Died, which is the title for whatever reason I can't get right now. I've had some strange listening material on runs in the past as I trained for my first ultra marathon. This might be the strangest. I'm just running through the woods listening to a tiny child actor get abused and then a grown woman have just horrible time getting over that. This is pretty heavy material for sure, right? In terms of like child acting, child abuse, eating disorders, horrible men that come into this person's life. It's very heavy. At the same time, this book is fucking hilarious. I cannot believe how many times I would just, like, it would get to the end of a chapter or get to the end of, like, it would point out some new hypocrisy with the mom or one of her various boyfriends or one of her family members. And Jeanette McCurdy is a gift. My cat has fallen into the bathtub of my bathroom. Apologies. Penny just wants to be the star of the show for whatever reason.
She's trying so hard.
Jeanette McCurdy is a really talented writer. I wouldn't, like... We've never evaluated a book before, right? And you can evaluate, like, prose, like sentence structure and, like, language and, like, the flow of a book. This, I wouldn't say that's, like, the strong suit of the book. It's, like, told very simply. But her ability to convey her inner voice, and it helps that I listen to the audiobook, which is performed by Jeanette McCurdy, and she does voices for all of her various family members and boyfriends, which is something.
Yeah. I really regret not listening to it, honestly, just to, like, get some of that texture of the voices, you know? Like, I've only ever actually read it.
It is well done.
It sounds amazing.
But her ability to capture, like, absurdity in what it's like to grow up with a narcissist parent, what it's like to enter, like, the child acting industry where everyone is, like, all for the kids except for they are completely oblivious to anything bad going on or, like, willfully ignorant of things happening on sets and in auditions and in costuming decisions and whatnot. I have so much respect for Jeanette McCurdy for, like, putting herself out there, because it does not paint her in a very nice picture either, particularly in her adult life. Like, you get where she's coming from, but, like, man, like, that is a lot to share with people, right? In terms of, like, her alcohol abuse or her bulimia or her anorexia. Like, it's obviously very sympathetic, but it's like, wow, you were in a dark place. And she constantly is, like, self-reflecting and calling herself, like, I've become a bitter person. I've become like my mother. I've become rude. I hate my fans. I hate, like, she puts it all out there. And it's a crazy read.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, like, brutal honesty in a way that, like, you know, as a, like, public figure, you know, willingly or not, she has become a public figure now. Like, can be, like, so risky, you know, like, the saying that kind of thing about, like, people who are, like, fans of, like, her previous shows, saying stuff like the Ariana Grande quote, like, they really tried to make a meal out of that, even though there's just nothing there. It's like,
no, she brings it up like one time, and it is, I was disappointed when I was, like, researching this book, and that was a lot of what grabbed headlines at the time,
right?
And it's like, you're completely missing the point. Like this, the whole, she doesn't say anything crazy about Ariana Grande. It's like, oh yeah, Ariana Grande has, like, a busy schedule when she was transitioning out of child acting into being a mega pop star. Like, that isn't, like, very revealing, right? And it's all
Yeah.
you watch like the Hollywood machine like drum up drama from it, and it's like, aren't you guys? Did you read the book? Are you like like this is unhealthy and toxic and not like true to life in any way, right?
Yeah. No, it's and she puts it in such like she's like I'm jealous, but she just explains it so well where it's like this is why I'm jealous. It makes sense for me to be jealous.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's kind of unfair the treatment I'm getting, but also like, she's making huge massive steps in her career, so it just makes like sense like where she's doing. She clearly wants to be a pop star. I don't really want to be a country music singer or an actress. Like I want to get out of all of this. And that's maybe like dictating a little bit of the split there, but yeah, no, it's of course that's the thing they run with, because it's like, wait, they're like, do we have something to bash Ariana Grande with? Like,
Right, like,
ooh,
hey,
looky,
let's
looky,
connect this to
are
someone
girls
who's
fighting?
more famous. But it's like, well,
Yeah. So it's like it's risky in stuff like that, and obviously it's like it's unfortunate in that case of like that having overshadowed it. But I don't know that it fully like eclipsed. Like I'm sure there are like
no, I
some
think
people who weren't engaged, but like I think this book had such a huge splash that it like the title is like cannot be eclipsed by almost anything else. Like I think that it just provokes intrigue into the actual story in a way that like it seems like a very big success in my book, at least.
I felt such a weird
yeah.
sense of like pride for Jeanette McCurdy as I was reading it, because you're reading it and like she's in the absolute like depths of despair and grief and having a shitty career, because to be honest, she has a pretty shitty career. Like she's known as a child actor for this kind of cringy like kid show that like I watched when I was a kid. You probably watched it when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever made the jump to Sam and Cat, but like it makes me very happy that like Jeanette McCurdy is known for now 3 things. iCarly is still probably number 1, Sam and Cat's number 2, but number 3 is a New York Times bestseller. It is, she's known as a creator, advocate, writer, and that's like hopefully going to continue to define her going forward. I know you pitched this after the news broke that like this book is getting turned into a TV show, and it's like, and that she's directing and producing it, not or at least being like, not maybe not the showrunner, but she's being like a writer and producer for that project. And like her work is going to live on as not just like hitting people with a sock, which every time it comes up I was like, that's got to be really annoying that people like run up to you and yell like really cringy dumb catchphrases. Like it makes me think like, I wonder what it's like to be like Fred the YouTuber, like walking around as like an adult man.
My God. Yeah. Just like no, it's and I think it just feels worse because Fred at least like uploaded his own videos from his like garage or whatever. Like he at least, that was like his thing. Like I think I get so angry when I imagine her dealing with like the fried chicken butter sock thing of like,
and knowing that she didn't want to be an actress.
Adults wrote that for her. You know what I mean? Just that it's such a bad show and that she had to like, I mean, like, again, don't get me wrong. I watched iCarly when I was a kid a lot. It was like, I really liked it, but like she was like pigeonholed into this thing with these jokes that like she didn't write, she didn't have any say in, she just like came up, and then now she's stuck with the like do the roar thing, and it's like,
right. And she's so far away from Sam the character. Like Sam the character is tough and zany, as is the whole show and the whole cast, right? And she is like, so not any of that. Like she is reserved and pretty emotional and like professional, and then she plays this character that like this like I remember her being pretty much like the fan favorite of that show, right?
Yeah, just all all crazy,
right.
Like not afraid to like iCarly is like Carly is like your main relatable girl, and then like Sam is just like, she does everything to the extreme, and she's like so like edgy kind of in a way, and
She's
not
like the
afraid, not
Kramer
precious
of,
with her
of
image.
iCarly.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's so weird to like have watched that. Like as a kid, it was like I liked Sam. Like I was like, she's so cool. Like she was probably my favorite character in the show. It's like she's like just out there like doing what she wants. Like it's cool that she gets to be that, you know, in some way. Like I don't want to be so mean to the writers, but at the same time it's just, yeah, like to have that strapped to your image I think is tough. I don't know. I in my mind this has like fully like I don't know what the public knows or what the public thinks. I make that clear every episode of what the perception is. In my mind it's like iCarly, this book, and maybe Sam and Cat. I feel like Sam and Cat's forgotten.
I think it's only not
history.
forgotten,
It's
sadly,
always my
because of
hope.
that connection to Ariana Grande, right? Like I think that's maybe the
I
only
see.
part that like keeps it going. I mean, a book release versus a TV show that was on the air for, I mean, I know that one wasn't on the air for very long, but like
Right.
the Nickelodeon stuff I think is always going to define her in the public eye, sadly. But now she has an avenue to be the creator that she always wanted to be. Like, to be a writer, to be this, like, introspective person who's really good at reading people, right? Like, she's really good at, like, cutting through, like, what her grandmother is really trying to say, what her grandfather, her fake dad, her real dad, her mom, her producers, her agents. Like, she's really good at, like, synthesizing that. Like, there's a scene late in the book where she's talking about like these various unnamed figures on this like agent call, and how it's like, and that's the guy who just wants to say his stuff really quickly and like spit it out too fast to hear, and then he's gonna like sit back and have his arms folded and be like, I did it. And this is the person who's gonna like give me a compliment sandwich, essentially, of like good news, bad news, good news. And this person is gonna, like she just is really good at like capturing like superfluousness in Hollywood and in just day-to-day life. Like every random Uber driver that comes up, every random like Nickelodeon cast member or PA, like they all have like this personality in like 5 seconds of like meeting them and like moving on, usually while she's in the middle of having a horrible crash out because something horrible has happened.
One of my favorites was the like her doctor, I guess psychiatrist, that is like helping her with her like eating disorder, like towards the end of the book, who like first she's describing him as like an umless man, like he doesn't say he's very certain of what he says, and that reassures her. And then she describes how like he's explaining to her about like how it's okay to have slips, it's okay to have mess ups, but what we want to do is we want to stop a slip from turning into a slide. And then as he says that, he like hands her like a packet or a book called like turning a slip into a slide, and there's just a paragraph of her explaining like he like rehearsed that, like
clearly
he looks really
right?
happy,
like, and he was like, now this is my big flourish, this is my big moment.
Yeah, like she's like, he seems really like pleased with himself that he was able to pull that off so smoothly, like and it's so funny, like even as she's getting this like legitimately helpful advice about not letting a slip turn into a slide, because she's describing how she's been so hard on herself for her like mistakes. It's like, yeah, she's clocking all these different things and like adding those details into the book. It's like, it's not just much needed humor and like levity, but it also just shows like who she is as a person. It also it just puts you in those rooms, like everyone's been in these rooms with these people who are doing something like a little bit performative, or like you can kind of sense their angle of like where they're coming from, and it's like you really feel like you're in each of those situations and feel like the little imperfections and stuff about like, you know, how things should be. Like like her therapist sponsor, who I'm like cosplaying as, I guess, who like comes to like an event and then like gets distracted and is like talking to Adam Sandler and clearly has a crush on Adam Sandler. And she's like, even in the heat of the moment, as she's having a huge like breakdown and like wanting to have like another like binging
Cheeseburger
episode,
slider or something, right?
She's like she's clocked all these different things about like how she has a crush on Adam Sandler, and like it makes sense, and she's like empathizing and like understanding, and it's like how that kind of empathy and awareness can be like an Achilles heel when you're being you're giving so much benefit of doubt to everyone. You're like, it makes sense why they're doing that. I'm never gonna ask for anything for myself. I don't feel like I deserve that. Like that's getting ignored because you're just kind of paying attention to other people. It's like, well, she doesn't need me to like come in here with all my like annoying bulimia stuff. Like, you know, she's got to talk to Adam Sandler. Like, this is her chance. You know, it's like
the constant like subtle putting down of herself. It's so funny. I thought I'm going to get to the after section because this book is structured in the before her mother dies and after, right? And I was like, I'm going to get to the after section and at least her mom's dead. So, like, maybe she can start to, like, maybe things will start to turn around. And they really don't for a long time, right? Like, being out from under her shadow takes time, and it's, like, baby steps, right? And then also, like, she's in such a mentally, like, troubled place by that point when it comes to like the eating disorder part of it all and the like career part of it all and the fame part of it all, and she's not given any tools for success. Like, she has very few friends. Throughout the entire book, all I kept thinking was, can a real adult please enter this situation, right? God help someone help this woman, like someone help this child, because every person she meets, even if it starts good, it's like, okay, well, maybe this boyfriend will be okay. Jeanette, I have a confession to make. I think I'm Jesus Christ. And I'm just like, no!
Yeah, that one is so sad. I mean, it's so touching, though. Yeah, the story with, like, Steven, which, like, I assume is, like, a alias used for this, like, ex-boyfriend of hers. But it's, like, I think it's one of those, like, it's kind of weirdly beautiful in a way. It's horrifying and traumatic, like, to have this guy, like, that you finally trust, who's, like, wanting you to get better, and then he shows up and he's like, I just saw God's Not Dead, and hey, like, I think that it just be like, no. And then, yeah, like, having this, like, schizophrenic break with reality and, like, struggling with, like, drug addiction, and it's, like, at the same time, he's the first person to, like, set her on the path to, like, even though it's for the wrong reasons, like, she starts going to therapy to cure her eating disorder, not because she wants to cure her eating disorder, but because she wants to be with this, like, guy who said that he doesn't want to be with someone who's going to be, like, so negative. And it's, like, just as she's, like, but I mean, it sets her on the path, which is amazing, and, like, at the end of the day, like, that feels like the impact that he had on her life. But yeah, at the same time, it's like just ships passing in the night, like, he's spiraling out on his own Catholic guilt thing, and it's like, man, like, it's really tragic.
It takes until that first therapist, like, the first of two, right, where I'm like, okay, this woman is, like, a real person. Like, this person, like, she's willing to say, hey, I think your mom was an abusive person. And it's like, everyone up into this point has, like, willfully ignored it, or was left in the dark, or is actually actively enabling it, right? Like, none of her family comes across very nicely in this book. Her brothers, it's kind of ambiguous. Like, I think her brothers are more like fellow victims of this scenario, right? But beyond that, like, her dad sucks. Her grandmother obviously is terrible. Her grandfather,
could we say yes? Okay,
is almost the most frustrating, because he knows what's going on and he's against it, but then he rolls over, right?
Yeah, it's like I think there's, like, some similarities between him and her dad of, like, they are just, like, just kind of tolerating these, like, very highly emotional women in their lives, and just kind of whatever they say, they're just kind of, like, walking around the edges. Her dad is a little bit more kind of like strange and inscrutable.
Well, especially
like,
with the
you know,
reveal
he
at the end, right? Like it just kind of
right that
recontextualizes a
he's
lot of
been
that.
cheated on. Yeah, and you kind of make sense that like it seems like he reacted to being cheated on and not being the father of like 3 of the 4 children he was raising. Like, it's like strikes me as like passive aggressive almost. Like I'm gonna be like a deadbeat dad to like get back at you somehow, rather than like I don't know leave or
Right.
like
He's just a very checked out person, and it's like
yeah, or not take it out on the kids, right? Like it's like you know a very interesting guy. The grandfather, it's one of the most impactful. It just sticks out to me so much in the book of
them
like
in the yard together.
yeah, it's hard to talk about without crying, but just like you shouldn't have to support your whole family. Like, ugh, like it's coming. Like that is so heavy. Like,
Deborah
that
Jeanette
he
has
points it out.
OCD. No, she doesn't. Like, blah, 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 like,
I think Jeanette has OCD. Oh, yeah. And the Mike Wazowski, and he gives her Mike Wazowski. He's a funny little guy,
he's a
and I'm
funny
like,
little guy.
it's like,
thought
yeah,
you would
you
like
want
him.
Jeanette to just be in preschool and be in elementary school and like enjoy Mike Wazowski, and instead she has to be in this like glitz and glam, worrying about her like eyelashes and all this bullshit. I don't know.
Every
It's like,
every time Disneyland comes up, I get like so sad because it's such a like.
yeah,
Even though this person has this horrible childhood and has like a very different childhood, like what like her mom's making her watch Taxi Driver, she's not like watching Saturday morning cartoons. Like
yeah,
somehow the power of like the allure of Disneyland in California is like it's the little girl in her comes out no matter what. Like she wants to go to Disneyland and she wants to like she is still caught up in the magic of it, and then that gets taken away from her in some way because of the fame part, but then it still comes up like frequently as she becomes an adult, and like her going on like a gal pal date with Miranda Cosgrove at Disneyland. I'm like, okay, well maybe we can talk about Disney in another podcast, but like maybe there's some hope here, right? Like maybe like she can find some happiness and find some like childhood wonder still that doesn't have to involve like purging herself and drinking heavily, right?
And then it's describing like how the quality of the toilet paper at Disneyland interacts with her trying to clean up the mess from her.
Right.
Like, and it's like it's so graphic, but it's so specific, and it's so like just human. I don't know. Like it's we talked about it's interesting, like the previous episode, like it echoes so well. I feel like this book, like we're talking about Goodbye Eri, which is like another a manga that also features mom stuff, and like we in that episode we're talking about an interview with the creator where he talks about like eating his pet fish as
He
like
ate
a
his
sign
pet
of
fish
like love
because he couldn't bury it, and it's the only time he ever felt connection to the pet.
Yeah, and it's like such a crazy weird thing, and like I get so many of those moments from like the Mickey Mouse toilet paper and like trying to clean up puke with it or whatever, and like these just like little things, or like smelling like just like the awful like spray tan smells or whatever, like while hanging out with like Dwayne the Rock Johnson or like sitting next to him and being like, does he smell it too? Does he notice? Like yeah, I don't know. It's so grounded, but yeah, the grandpa, it's hard. I want to love him, but it's at the same time, it's like he in a way is like not too dissimilar from the bad. Like he just kind of sits by and lets all this like horrible stuff happen, and like doesn't pay things more than like a little bit of lip service, doesn't really try to like fight anything. It's just so sad to
in some ways the
imagine.
worst thing you can do is say like, oh, it's not my place to get involved, right? Like
yeah,
when something is as blatant as this scenario.
right.
But it's also hard to tell. It's hard to tell how well Deborah was at hiding stuff, right? Like there's a few moments where it's clear that like the jig is up and like normals are noticing what's going on here. Like there's the lady who flags her down in the parking lot and goes like, "Hey, your daughter has anorexia.
Right.
It's a serious problem around here. Like there are these resources or what have you." And it's like deny, deny, deny. And like Jeanette's first representative, like that relationship blows up off page, and it's like, "Oh, I have a new manager now because mom said so and so is old news." And it's just like, okay, well, clearly every time it's like someone breaks with her mother, it's like, well, I'm sure there's more of a story there than the version that her mother is telling, right? Obviously, like she's a narcissist and she's crazy, and like there's the little glimpses into like people picking up on things being wrong but not being in the positions to like do anything about it, like the random like mall workers and fast food workers and people who are just like in public noticing as like her mother, you know, gets really big with her emotions and with her her manipulation.
No, totally. It's one of the things, something I always think about with this book. It's kind of weird because it's like not written explicitly in the book, but it just always is where my mind goes, is like just the societal level thing of like, I don't know, like you get like a lot of talk of like the nuclear family, like the kind of toxicity that forms into that idea, the like limiting it, like is it really natural for us to like cluster in these specific like arrangement of like mom, dad, 2.5 children, white picket fence, like nobody else is allowed to enter or leave, like, you know, this like strange ideal that has kind of been foisted upon us, and like the ways that like, you know, like on one hand, like I feel frustration towards like all the other adults in her family that like didn't do anything to intervene, and at the same time I'm like, what could they have done? Like her biological father like talks about her mom like, you know, saying some stuff about like his violence, and that was like the threat that she used to like keep him away. And it's like, you know, it's not that they could have done nothing, and they definitely didn't try. It almost seems like I think one conversation of like I think Jeanette might have OCD, and like just kind of giving up, like I think that's where the frustration stems from. At the same time, it just feels set up for failure in that like anyone can have kids and they just have like a free victim in a way. Like it's just like you there's
getting
so much
between
control
a parent and
granted
a child
to
is a really hard thing to do legally, morally, like just like strength of will to do something to intervene is something that's like very, very sticky. And it's unfortunate because it allows this to like fester and to get to such a horrible place. Like there are so many moments where it's like, can't someone see that this is wrong, right? Where it's like the kids are sleeping on mats on the floor because their rooms are full of junk. Like Jeanette is paying for everything, even though her mother is constantly just like calling bill collectors and making up sob stories. Like her mother can't work because she has to be Jeanette's manager because she's this irresponsible, horrible person. Like it's just like, won't somebody do something? An 11-year-old can't be calorie counting. Like what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Why are you letting this woman shower her children into like adulthood or into like late teen like time? That's probably the detail that was like the most horrifying to me, is like Jeanette's like 12, her brother's 16, they're being showered together by their mother, and it's like this has moved from like emotional abuse into like physical and sexual abuse, and it's like and Sam is running through the jungle like, oh my god, I need to switch to music.
Yeah, that's that is a very crazy thing to be listening to on a run.
It is what it is. I gotta run for like 8 hours a week, so I gotta fill the time somehow.
No, it's truly horrifying, and I think it's like, I think some of that, like the inscrutability, like you can make inferences about like why her mom did what she did. Like it seems like possessiveness, like entitlement to like access of her children and like control seem to be like the predominant themes. But like she's never going to come out and say like, this is why I did it.
Right.
What'd you say?
And the cancer of it all as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. Like the kind of paranoia and like the, feeling like I'm an expert, I'm in control, I understand what's going on. Like, let me, check up on this. But like some of the horror of it is just like not truly knowing like what was going on in her head, like not really being able to fully read or understand and like just why. It's like clearly she cared about this, like the fact that it like kept up for so long. Like this was not just some like, kind of flight of fancy thing she was doing. Like it's like obviously she was invested in like continually doing this up until like they were like 16.
This being
but it's just
the showering,
the like assault kind of stuff, the physical showering stuff,
or the cancer screenings
like,
or what have you.
Yeah. It's just like I think what makes some of it so horrifying to me is like what was she doing? Like why? Like a little bit, you know what I mean? It's like
it has. Yeah, I mean, it has the energy.
Yeah.
The fact that she constantly encourages her daughter to be like afraid of growing up and like physically, it gets into some weird territory like immediately of like, I want you to always be a child. I want you to always be something that I can put in a box and control and dress up like a doll or what have you. Like the fact that she always dresses her in like Disney clothes and tutus and pink and makes like sleeps with her on the mats on the floor, and like it all comes back to this idea of like, I don't want you to grow up. And the moves that she makes in that direction of giving her anorexia are like causing that to like be manifest. I mean, it results in like her period coming in way too late. Like it results in her like not developing as a woman physically, and like all that is just like really bad and unhealthy and encouraged by the mom because it fits into her desire to have this like this doll that she can like make speak how she wants it to and dress how she wants it to and give orders to. It's like it's very dark and disturbing.
Yeah. No, there's this sense as well, like one of the like first questions that like her first therapist starts like asking about her mom was, because Jeanette mentions that they were like best friends, and the therapist is immediately like, did your mom have like other friends? Did your mom have friends outside of you? And it's something so awful that happens where you're like, you as a parent, I think there's a certain type of person that's like, finally I can play God and create someone that is like exactly how I want them to be. And like, like all of those like, there's like a genre of movie where it's like, what's that robot movie with the orange hair guy? Oh man. Oh no. Why am I even saying this? It was a movie
I need a little
about
more here.
a woman android, and this guy goes to see if she's a real human or not, and he goes to this island, and there's a bald guy, and he's the CEO, and they're like making out, and at the end stop explaining the movie, Mallory. There's a genre of movie and like fiction where it's like, I've created the perfect like robot entity. Rei Ayanami from Evangelion. There we go.
Sure.
There's a shared reference there that I remember the name of, which is extremely helpful when making a reference. It's like there's like a type of character. It's like, I've molded you, I've created you exactly how I want. You don't have your own individual identity, and then like the fiction will go on to explore like the horror of that. And like this is just like, this is what that is.
Character, right?
Yes.
And like that being like a desirable thing for a lot of times in these kind of stories, like a guy to do to a woman, or to like a robot, or a clone of the main character's mom. Spoilers for Evangelion.
Yeah.
It gets weird.
Mm-hmm. It's like
I cut you
that's
off.
what this is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's like what this kind of thing is that like happens in real life. It's like, oh, finally I can like mold the perfect friend. That's like, you're gonna like do this and that or whatever and be there for me and like. And then they grow up and they realize and they don't, and it's
I
it's
have
devastating.
seen the effects. The you mentioned the detail of the mom not having any adult friends, right?
Yeah,
That hit home pretty hard, like that. In terms
me too.
of like, yeah, I've both been in that scenario where like I'm my parents' best friend, and that's a tough place to be in as a child, and I've witnessed it in different permutations in like various either family members or like people I've known, right? And it's a really tough place to be. I don't know if parents should be friends with their kids. I don't know how else to put it. Like they shouldn't be their only friend for sure, right? Because
Yeah.
there's what that does is it forces people to grow up too quickly, and it also like puts way too much pressure and expectations on like a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hits pretty close to home. I've had some yeah. It hit, yeah. It's not it's a little sticky.
Yeah. No, I completely like it's that was like definitely a detail that stood out to me of like I'm pretty open about my mom's stuff. I don't have a reason to not be. Like it's I think, she would tell me about her best friends and she only ever had one best friend at a time and like she would just tell me about like they it's like her old best friend, like after she had her son and her son was autistic, she started paying to her more attention to her autistic son than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was replaced. And,
Yeah, fair.
I'm listening to this as like an 11-year-old being like, okay, like I'm not going to replace, don't worry, mom, I won't replace you. Like,
Right.
It's like, yeah. And then you think back, you're like, oh, like, and it's like, oh, but then she stopped having best friends. It's like, oh no, she just found me. And it's like the same, like, I think the same kind of stuff that happens is like her mom talks about like, men will like break your heart or whatever, but women will like know you intimately and destroy you or whatever. It's like,
Boy,
clearly,
you were right there.
clearly she struggled with that and was like, I'll just create my like perfect friend in this
Right.
like really controlling way. Awful stuff, not a
tough.
great person. not a
I think is
not
Deborah
an
the
admirable
villain of this
person.
book? Like, is it?
I'm getting
I'm getting some vibes that like the mom who
Yeah.
makes her kid calorie count at 11 and encourages her to be in skimpy outfits on television and encourages her to have OCD. I'm getting the vibes that she's maybe not a good person. I don't want to make any like grand statements, but
Right.
like
You don't want to speak too broadly,
Deborah McCurdy seems
it-
like maybe in the wrong here.
Yeah. It's man.
Mallory, I'd be remiss
I-
if I didn't ask you about the cover
Yeah.
of this book. I know it's
Uh-huh.
sitting behind you, but like it is such a statement because from my perspective, I hadn't thought about Jeanette McCurdy in 10 years, and then this book comes out in 2022, and I go like, whoa, she's having a life, I guess. Something's happened here. It definitely did make the splash at the time, and I'm sure I got like the Cliff Notes version of like, okay, child abuse, that makes sense. Child actor, that makes sense. Eating disorder, well, that sucks. Here's the, I can't, this, I don't know if this is right to say,
Okay.
but this is just my experience of like vaguely remembering iCarly from 10 years ago. I never thought of Jeanette McCurdy as like skinny. Like I feel like as an actress, like she was put in like hoodies and frumpy clothes, and I'm sure there are the awkward why are these child actors in bikini scenes that can be found because of the other character we haven't mentioned yet, the Dan Schneider of it all.
Yeah, we should address
which
that
we will
later.
get into
Yeah, that's a good point.
before we close out here. But like,
yeah,
all of this work, all of this abuse, all of this like stopping this person from like growing naturally physically or what have you, I don't even think of her as being like rail thin. Like, I don't, that's not how I remember Jeanette McCurdy. And it's like they're putting all this effort into creating this like permanent child, and I don't even like, it's for what?
Well,
like that's how I feel about it.
It's very interesting. It's like there, you always have to be like, is it for the acting career, or is it for the control, or is it a bit of both, or is it like an actual legitimate delusion? Like, you know,
well, I think the mom, like the mom herself, is also like really thin, right? And only eats
and like engaging in
dry
some
lettuce
sort of
or what have
disordered
you.
eating. Yeah, like it's their shared thing that they do together is like you know how it's described. So it's like her mom definitely probably like engages in the level of that, and it's so tough with, I think, the kind of person that like her mom is, to like differentiate like what is like mustache twirling, like, and if I do this, like I'll be able to keep my control or whatever, and what is like her actually like buying into like thinking. So
yeah, I'm trying to apply logic to a very illogical person, but I'm like, does Jeanette need to be 89 pounds? Like, and maybe that's me being a guy and not realizing what women go through, right? Like, I don't remember Sam Puckett being like this childhood like symbol of attraction or whatever. Like, I don't, like, she's not even the main character. she's the plucky friend.
No, it's like, I mean, I can certainly envision the style. It's that t-shirt, right? It's that like Aeropostale, like just it goes in and it's like kind of clingy around like the waist type of thing.
And there was
and
tons
I can
of
think
that,
that, and I can think,
right?
like I certainly think that, and I think like, oh, she was thin, but I also think that there's something interesting to like her character of like the way she's aggressive that almost masks that. It's like, it's hard to tell because at the same time, like the show is like doing stuff that's exploitative, like weird bikini stuff with like 14-year-olds, and then also doing like, you know, like character writing. Certainly, like I'm certain that she was supposed to be styled like a little bit more masculine because that's what the character is written to be, you know.
She's
like
not quite tomboy, but like that's somewhat like what the character is, right?
Yeah, the personality is tomboy. Appearance is not necessarily like too far off from Carly, like vis-a-vis like what she's wearing, you know. But yeah, it's like it is one of the things. It's like all that for like, dude, you just get into this weird thing. Like, I guess the way I think about like a lot of body image stuff, like, you know, like I'm trans, obviously I have body image stuff. Like it's, well, maybe some fucking beautiful angels are like 12 and aren't ever going to go through of it because like woke Jesus has saved them. But like, I feel like
you were not saved by
so
woke Jesus, you mean?
Sometimes you get fixated on a thing. You'll be like so stuck of like, oh, I hate this part of my body. I hate how I look right now. I hate how I present. Let me try and do this. Let me try and do that. Let me try and fix it. And then you're like, why did I want to fix it? And you can like find echoes of your voice of like, this person judged you in this way. This like person made a shitty comment like 10 years ago and it just resonated really strong. There's like this societal media narrative. And you to like sit back and you're like, do I think that's true? You know what I mean? Like, do I think my worth is defined by like my waist size or whatever? Do I think that the difference between like 125 and like 90 pounds is like life or death, you know? And it's like, it ultimately isn't. Like, I think that like when I don't look at women, I especially don't look at 14-year-olds and think like, oh wow, you're too fat. But I don't look at women in general and think very much, spend a lot of time thinking about like, oh, you know, like you've gained a little, you've lost a little, you know, and it's like, unless
I'm not trying to virtue signal here, but it's also not really been my experience either. Like, I just don't. She talks so much about like, oh no, now my face is going to be puffy because I
Right.
did the like in the purging sections of the book, like all these different things of
Yeah.
like they're gonna know this, they're gonna know that, and a lot of times it seems like no one picks up on it or cares, even in very public
Yeah.
scenarios of like award shows and things like that. I yeah, it's so much of it is in her own head or from her mother, like the inner voice of her mother, right? And it's just
Exactly.
it's all for nothing. Like
Yeah. And but like I think that's the thing. I think it's worth saying like what you were saying, like that we don't have that. I think like cuz like I had like a male childhood, right? And like we both kind of grew up in a way that like this was maybe not scrutinized for us in the same way that it was like, not to say that like, boys and men don't get any like commentary about weight, like certainly
no, I've got
that's not
I've got
true.
all kinds of
But,
body
like,
issues on my own, but like
yeah, but
it's
it's
different.
not like it is different, and it there's, I think that like so many like young women are like fed these like narratives of like people are gonna notice and care, and they're gonna choose they're gonna like magically kind of like sense like which one of you is 80 pounds and which one of you is 81 pounds, and they're
Right.
gonna choose the 81-pound one, or the 80-pound one. I mean, like they're gonna, and it's gonna make this huge difference and like impact things. And the reality is like, this is not what most people are thinking about, like unless you've been fed that specific brain virus, I guess.
And you're also
of,
living
like,
in an environment that like absolutely enables and encourages it, right? Like there's one small section
Yeah.
where PAs and various like people working in the Nickelodeon sphere are going like, you look great right now, like you're almost, you're on the cusp of being too thin, but like you're doing great, and like keep it up. And it's like, no. Like, what are you talking about?
awful
pretty bad.
stuff. It's like,
You want to talk about the creator a little bit?
yeah, just put a bow on it. It's like, just to say, it's very safe to not comment on people's weight, like unless you're like, if there's a drastic shift and you're like concerned about someone's health, I think that's okay to us. But like, I feel like just broadly, just like not saying anything good, bad, or the other, because you don't know what a healthy weight for that person is. You don't know what they're going through. And if they're a child actress that suddenly lost a lot of weight, you can probably guess, and it's very bad that you are just kind of promoting that kind of thing. But yeah, we can talk. Yeah.
That being said, I think that like how things were in the early 2000s versus how they are now, like things have shifted, right? Like I feel like the tabloid magazine culture style stuff has not, it's not gone away. Like those things are still out there, and people do still write stories like, is this actress gaining weight? I remember Billie Eilish got a lot of unfair coverage, right, about like,
right.
why does she wear frumpy clothes or what have you, and did she gain weight between albums and then lose it, and what would that mean, and is it a personal journey, or da. But for the most part, I think it has gone away from that. Like people, I saw a post online of like, it was like a early 2000s or maybe late 90s like party of celebrities, and it was just like a gallery of like all these different famous people, and every woman is like an hourglass in a way that looks really unhealthy, and it's like clearly everyone here is on drugs. Like all of it's just rough. It's like, I'm glad that we've gotten away from that, and that like I think about like the Friends cast, right, and how all of those women were like very thin and were expected to be very thin as they went on to movie careers or what have you, and it's just like, that seems like tough time to be alive and a tough position to be in.
Yeah, no, totally. It's I mean, a very important cultural shift that's happened, and like I'm just always like, let's keep it rolling. Like let's not slip and slide back into these kind of commentaries. Yeah, it's irritating that it happens, but yeah, I don't know. I could go on about this for a lot longer. You wanted to talk about the mysterious creator. Who could it be?
Who could it be? There's not
Let's
like
get our
15
Yeah.
hours of video essays about this guy. Conservatively, there's probably like 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do a deep dive on Dan Schneider this week. I have vaguely heard it through the grapevine as like various like viral YouTube videos and Netflix documentaries and what have you, and articles and tell-alls about this guy have come through. He's not in the book as much as I thought he would be, which is good because every time he shows up, I would just be really mad. But I'm glad in general that this book was way more about her story than about like the juicy tidbits of whether or not she liked Ariana Grande and whether or not Dan Schneider is a monster. He is, but like it doesn't contend with that much. Like he's just around. It definitely doesn't paint him in a very good picture, but he's not
Right.
like the mom is the focus, right?
Yeah.
That being said, when he shows up, what a pathetic piece of shit.
Yeah. No, it is like unbelievable, like the stuff that he's able to get away with, like even just on like the mistreating like employees part, like forget the like child talent that he's like
Making
trying to groom
like firing
and-
6-year-olds and making them cry and freak out.
Yeah, I mean that too. Yeah, but like even the way he like treats some of the adults, and the way he's described it like as like knowing how to make someone feel so special and put the spotlight on them and give them all the attention, and then you know being able to like pull that away in an instant and make them feel worthless, and it's like such a horrible environment, and you're like, who is giving this guy all this power, man? Like this is so miserable.
Well, the same people that are offering the folks involved $300K to shut up, right? Like
Yeah. Oh my God.
doesn't paint the Nickelodeon Corporation in a very good light either.
Yeah, I love it too. I love her turning out. It's such a powerful scene, and it's written so well too. Like the chapter ends with her thinking, like, "Man, I really could use that money." Actually,
That was
like,
maybe dumb of me. Like,
huh? You know, but it's just in the moment she just feels like, "What? No, I'm not gonna. What?" You know.
I love
and
that, like-
good for her, obviously, but
you can feel his playbook, right, in all of their scenes together. But it by and large doesn't work on Jeanette McCurdy because she already has a villain like on her shoulder at all times manipulating her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like acting. So it's like him trying to like pit her against her co-stars in like salary negotiations and stuff like that. It doesn't work at all because she's like, I don't give a fuck about this show. And so she's got a weird defense to it. I will say one of the horrifying bits of like him making her try alcohol, knowing that she's going to become like an alcoholic later on, and also her mom being there and not like caring or not doing anything about it. It's like, what is happening? I'm amazed by this book's ability to like continuously shock me with like the hypocrisy or like scathing details about a person, even like chapters and chapters and chapters in. Like I'm still shocked by like how far her mother will go to appease faceless corporations and like the idea of like, well, I gotta get my baby to be the star I never could be.
No, it's totally like the one of the parts that stuck out to me so much was the like negotiating dinner that she had with her with Dan Schneider and with her mom about like it's the initial pitch for like Sam and Cat to be a show, which like originally was just gonna be like
it's like all about the Puckets or whatever, or all about the
Just Puckett.
Just Puckett.
which sounds like Just Fuck It, which is what it was. Man.
It also sounds like it's like even as you're listening to it, you're like, this is bullshit. They're never gonna make a Sam show that's just Sam.
Yeah, no, it's clearly like a carrot dangled, and she knows it in the moment, and her mom's there, and it stuck out so much to me of like her mom is sitting there like
salivating
eating
over
like
the idea.
everything he's saying. Like she's hanging on his every word. Like all this stuff that's supposed to work on Jeanette is absolutely bouncing off, but it's completely working on the mom, which is like the important
100%.
one there. And then at the same time, it's her mom, Dan Schneider, and this steak. And she has to figure out how much steak to eat. If she eats too much steak, her mom is going to get very upset and criticize her a lot. If she doesn't eat any steak, Dan Schneider's going to get very upset and criticize her a lot.
Which also
because
means
he
her
bought
mom's
the
going to be
steak.
mad. Yeah, like it's like there's no right
Which
answer.
is also going to make her mom mad. And she needs to appease these two forces. And she like talks about how as much as like a lot of this stuff didn't work on her, there was an extent to which like there was a familiar energy that he brought to her mom, where she did want to do the right thing and like
yeah, she
him to
says
an
like he
extent,
can make
and
you
she's
feel
just,
like the most important person in the world, right? Which is like classic
Right.
abuse tactic or what have you.
yes,
Of like build people up,
And-
tear them down, and then make them want to feel built up again.
Totally, yeah. And she's sitting between these two forces, like trying to figure out how much steak to eat. That to me was one of the most relatable movies of the book, if I'm being completely honest, because it was just like, yeah, like when you can't just eat the amount of steak you want to eat. You know what I mean? Like you can't just be like, how much steak do I want? I'll eat that much. You know, like
Right.
it's just so light years away from anything that should be normally happening, and is such an awful situation.
Yeah,
I don't know.
an average.
Yeah.
No normal kid is gonna give a shit what people are thinking about on their plate, right? Like it's so far removed from what the average experience should be.
Yeah, no, it's such a strange and awful sequence of events that she had to go to, and such a like powerful thing for her to be able to put it all together, put it out there, just lay it out as is. Like we haven't talked a whole lot about like we addressed it like briefly in the beginning, like but like the writing style of just like how blunt and to the point. Like there's just no flowery language. There's no like extended metaphors. Like it's just like I did this, I thought this. It's just to the point.
It's a
And I think
collection
it's
of
just so
details, but just
powerful.
ordered and lined up in such a great observational way.
Yes,
Like so many,
and,
every
yeah.
chapter ends in like a horrifying detail or a bit of irony, or like a really funny detail, and it's like one or the other.
Yeah. She knows how to end a chapter. It's always like she's so skilled at ending the chapters. It's like that you get into this rhythm while you're reading it of like what's going to be the little punchline or twist or horrific revelation at like the end of this one. You know, it's such an easy read for me, I guess. As I previously mentioned when we were talking about manga in the intro section, I'm not the most focused nowadays. But I fly through it. Like it's a really good read.
You know what one of my favorite ones is?
Yeah.
So about Dan Schneider, it's after like the allegations have started to come out, right? And they're in the final filmings of Sam and Cat, and he has to be in a booth removed from the cast
Oh my
and
God.
crew. And he's surrounded by finger foods and Nickelodeon Blimp awards, and it's like what
That
a
mattered to him?
loser. She calls it like his most prized possession, and it's like that's a moment where it's like, yeah, she's sticking the knife in and twisting, and it's like, good for you, Jeanette McCurdy. Like this guy sucks.
Yeah. No, like girl, like cuz I was like okay, like I like writing. I feel like, and I think that kids TV deserves respect. I think that if I was very successful in like writing a kids TV show, I think I would maybe feel proud about it. I don't think I could hold like a Nickelodeon choice like Blimp in any kind of esteem. Like I don't think that I could put that on my shelf like that. I don't know, man.
Like yeah, I won this one for writing the Buttersock joke. Episode 2 of season 3 of iCarly, where Sam hits Gibby with a sock full of butter. This is my most prized possession. Is this? See, it looks like the blimp that flies over the Nickelodeon studios, but it's also a trophy, and it's in that signature Nickelodeon orange. I am a very important person. My name is Dan Schneider.
Yeah. Pathetic, Weird freak. I love that as well. I love that he's banished to his little corner, and he has one poor PA that has to like run back and forth to him to like deliver messages to the rest of the crew. Like,
there is something like a really interesting detail on that, in that like him having his Me Too moment or whatever just makes things worse on the cast and crew, because the days go from 13-hour days to 17-hour days, because it like they don't remove him from the show creating, they just stick him in his weird cave of like food and Nickelodeon trophies, and so like all it does is like continue to fester and like make lives even worse, even though it's like comes from a place of like this guy needs to be punished, right? All it does is like fall back onto the crew who didn't do anything.
yeah.
And Jeanette McCurdy,
And
who didn't do anything. Like,
and like Nickelodeon has to be punished and suffer and take the L for having this guy on stuff and overlooking, like, to whatever degree of awareness they had. It's like, I feel like it's like, oh, but we still want this guy that's able to write really successful TV shows. It's like, no, like you don't get that. You just have to settle for the next guy, I guess, because like
you have to find someone else.
You cannot have this guy around
like
kids,
a monster.
like. Yeah, and keep like funding his salary. It's like I don't know. It's despicable
have you
stuff.
Ever done, have you done the Nickelodeon deep dive, like the Quentin reviews or like all those different like? I haven't.
I've only gone so far.
The grapevine, right?
Yeah. Like I certainly like looked into a degree of stuff. I think I've heard like a lot more of like the type of stuff like that was put in the show in retrospective. It's like you're a kid, you're just kind of like watching it thoughtlessly, not thinking about it, and then it's like, oh, that was fetish content, like that.
Right.
I've
like, I know
seen
the
a lot of
feet
like
thing
that
is, like,
kind
a
of
big thing for people, right?
Right. No, totally. But yeah, no, I haven't done the full deep dive. That can be like the next episode of the podcast.
No, I'm okay.
Watching.
That will not be my pitch this
Yeah,
week.
no.
I will say, while reading this, I kept
yeah.
thinking back, and I'm like, I feel like there was a Zoe 101 like mud wrestling episode, and I'm like, did I make that up, or was that like a thing? And I think it was a thing. Why
it sounds
is that?
Right.
What like? Even parents like at home, like watching what their kids are watching, do people not stop and go like, what's going on here? Like, there's just so many moments where it's like, can we take a step back and like evaluate? I know nowadays we do a lot of like evaluation, and no one can like have a straight opinion about anything or what have you, but like,
yeah,
there was not a lot of
we can't just
introspection
enjoy...
in the 2000s.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad and horrific. It's something that like I used to be so jealous of my neighbor because he was allowed to watch Victorious and Zoe 101 and I wasn't, because my dad, there was like a gay rule in my house of like you're only allowed to, there's a limit of like how girly a show can be before it gets turned off, basically. And like iCarly walked that line where like I think the character of Sam was very like aggressive and goofy or not super feminine, and like you have a male main character, and it just kind of like it's certainly a female centered show, but it's not like, you know, so overtly girly.
No, that was definitely
like,
a thing. I remember that with Hannah Montana versus like Sweet Life, right? It's like,
yes,
why are you watching this? It's like, well, it's on all the time, and I'm a child, and I'm just gonna watch television.
Yeah, but yeah, no, there's a thing where like I was very jealous of and like really wanted to watch Victorious when I was a kid, and looking back, I'm like, I kind of like the less of that stuff I got, was probably the better. Like, and like honestly, the stuff I did watch, like Sweet Life, like I got some bad messages from that. TBH, like, you know, it maybe was not the best. So just weird stuff that was being shown to children.
Weird stuff, weird bad. Book good.
I want to share before we like wrap up. Unless you have more moments that you want to share.
I wanted to ask if you have like a favorite like little detail Like the one I messaged you this earlier in the week because it like made me. I was just like guffawing.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
it's-
This is really funny.
It's after she's gone to Hawaii with her boyfriend who's too old for her, and that guy's a creep. But that's all we need to say there, really.
Yeah.
But like, it's after her mother has caught her in a lie and is like sending her like tons and tons of crazy psychotic emails. I've been in that position before with like family members, and it's not fun.
Yes.
It feels bad, when you start getting the like people who can't write sending you novels. It's not a great time.
They just don't stop calling, and you're just like, what do I have to say to make this stop? Like,
right.
Yeah.
But the detail is like, I'm gonna steal all your fans. I'm gonna make a Vine. They're gonna love my comedy. I just when the big bad monster becomes just so pathetic, in this case Deborah McCurdy, it's just you gotta laugh at it. And, like that detail was maybe my favorite like moment, and it's weird to have favorite moments in this book because it's very heavy subject matter, but like
I mean it's
you
beautiful
need that
and
levity,
it is funny,
and it's really funny.
Yeah, it's like the like in a similar thing, like there's the email that they get sent, and this is like one of the most viral because there's a YouTube short of her talking about it on like a podcast with like Will Smith's Jada Pinkett Smith. She's on like a
True Jackson
podcast
VP
with
herself,
her,
right? Am I remembering correctly?
with Willow Smith is on there, and they're like talking to her, and she's like reading the excerpt, which is like the email that she initially sends her about like, I saw your pictures on TMZ, like, you nasty slut, like, call from mom or call me Deb since I'm no longer your mother, like this string of like these most horrible cutting things. And like it's such a good YouTube short because like all of the like people listening, like their jaws are just dropping like in shock at like all these reacting to different moments. And then it ends with P.S. send money for a fridge.
Yes.
Like, it's like,
P.S. the fridge is still broken. Send money.
Yes, it's like, it's such a weird disconnect. Yeah, no, the Vine comedy videos I had not seen highlighted before and really got me. I thought it was so funny. And
incredible.
It's awful because there's a good timeline. In the good timeline, Deborah McCurdy did not succeed as an actress, did not get to live out her dreams. And then at the age of like 50, 40, after like raising her daughter and all of her children, was like, I'm going to start comedy videos on Vine, and was just the best,
Right.
Because she is funny.
She's
like,
hysterical.
and she doesn't like harness it in a good way, but she is like, and she is like this force of personality and has just obviously like these issues of like self-doubt and self-hatred and all this stuff that it's like she can't just be herself and do her own thing, she's
the book
she's
never comes out
corrupted
and
in
says
some
it,
way.
but like Jeanette McCurdy
Yeah.
learned how to act by watching her mother, right? Because her mother
Yeah.
is this crazy hypocrite who gets what she wants all the time, and so
Yeah.
when whether she's busting into the house and waving a knife around, threatening to kill her father, or she's like telling someone the cancer story to like gain sympathy at church or with a bill collector or whatever, like, or manipulating Jeanette McCurdy into, heaven forbid your child wants to learn how to write creatively at like 11.
Shout out! Oh my god, I had remembered it and it's slipping my mind. I think it's Harold Road is the
Or
title of the
Henry
script.
Road, I think. Yeah.
Henry Road. We need to see Henry Road. I will pay so much. I will fund Henry Road. I'll work 16 years.
That's what's great about it, is that now that knowing that now she's famous for being an author, it's like you did it. Like it may have taken an extra decade, but you're there.
Put out, release Henry Road, release
the Henry Road
release the
cut,
files.
release the Jeanette cut.
Yeah, and I love, like, it's just when she wrote The Parent Trap without seeing The Parent Trap, I'm like, I guarantee there's got to be some spice in there that's like good, like there's got to be something.
Do you have any other last
minute
bits you want to talk about with the book before we wrap up?
Yeah, just related. I wish, like, favorite details. I was really fixated on the Disneyland toilet paper this time, which is horrific.
Yes.
But
The little girl asking for her autograph under the stall is what jumped out at me about that. Like, it's a different moment,
Yeah.
but she's, like, remembering it as she's talking about the current, like, Disneyland binge, and she's like, I always check under the stalls, because one time a little girl's, like, hoisting an autograph book underneath it while I'm sitting there puking, and I was like, oh my god.
Jesus. Yeah, I have a like favorite moment that I want to end on that's more emotional. In terms of like funnier ones, her being in the ICU. There's also the part where she like replies to the like guy that she's DMing on Twitter about the he's like, "Oh baby, your mom's not gonna die," and she's like, "She just did." Like, but like she's in the ICU and the nurse is like, "Are you from iCarly?" Right. It's like while she's like actively changing out her mom's like
colostomy
feces,
bag or something,
like,
or like like it's not colostomy bag, but something similar, like a bedpan.
Yeah, and it's and her like not being like, oh, you just look similar, and her like even getting the like, no, I just like look similar.
Can I take a photo with you? My daughters aren't going to believe how similar you look. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable stuff.
Take
the
hint. Like,
please, it's so painful. I'll never talk to a celebrity again. I had my one and done with Rina Sawayama. We've went over it on the podcast. I'll never do it again.
This is how I feel as well. If I ever see a celebrity, I will walk the other way and like leave.
Just run. I'll sprint away into the hills.
I'll tackle someone else walking up with an autograph book just on their behalf, sight unseen.
Yeah. I know based on like listening to stuff she said, like she's talked about doing like talks at colleges and interviews and like loving hearing people resonate. I'm sure she would love me to be like give her my sob story.
I like
be
your
like,
book,
you helped me in this way.
I like your Buttersock comedy.
I'm sure she would love it. I'm not going to do that because, I mean, I guess this is the version of it, is we're putting this podcast out, but like, I don't want to go to her in person and bother her because I just am like...
Jeanette, if you're watching, your book's fantastic, and I cannot wait to see
and you're beautiful.
Direct and make more short films and what have you.
You have a beautiful soul, and you're amazing, and this book did help me a lot. I think it societally... Just the title, just putting out a book titled this in the position that you are is very beautiful and meaningful. Yes. I think
the taboo of being like, you know what, we don't have to treat moms like they're perfect all the time.
Yeah,
I'm sure that did resonate, Mallory. I'm sure.
Believe it or not. Yeah, no, I just to end it, something that I screenshotted that like was a really like meaningful moment to me of the book that I feel like is like a little ending moment is there's the whole paragraph she's talking about like no one else in the family seems to understand her emotion. Everyone else is like oblivious, they'll ignore her, they say the wrong thing, they tick her off, like versus like I'm like locked in, like I read everything, I know, like I can tell from her like facial expression like if she's mad at my grandma or if she's mad at my dad, like I can like read all of this, and everyone else is stupid, they're not even paying attention. And then it's like she talks about like the different types of happy that she can be, and then she talks about like the moment where she knows that her mom is a special particular type of happy, which is grateful happy, and it's her favorite way to see her because I'm directly the source of it. And it's just like it sucks because you just see these moments of her mom choosing things that will not make her happy. Like if you're just trying to think of like, how do I help her? It's like she's doing things that are just going to drive her into the corner. All Jeanette wants to do is make her happy. And it's just so heartbreaking to see her mom. They're not on the same team about that. Right. Jeanette's on team make mom happy. Mom is not on team make mom happy. Mom is on like, just keep diving deeper, keep doubling down on like these weird patterns that I've developed. Don't self-reflect, don't stop.
Like
what pursue these material external
or being
things.
Famous or what
Yeah, and it's sad that like she had that friend there that she could have. Yeah, I don't know. It's heartbreaking. Obviously, it's gonna make me emotional, but yeah, like we don't make it a secret on the Nobody Leaves podcast about parent stuff. That's our number one motto. But
I'm a steel trap. I say nothing. I give nothing.
Resonates with me as someone who does not talk to their mom and tried for a very long time to make their mom very happy. Is like, ugh. But who needs to hear about that? It's time to rank this on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, there you go. I love that there are certain episodes of this podcast where it's like, man, putting things in a tier list at the end really doesn't make sense and really doesn't fit this one.
It's one of the, like, I feel like we've talked about we're going to do a re-tiering at the end of the year. I feel like there's going to be a, like, debate over, do we keep the tier list at a certain point?
I like it for the absurdity of it all. Like, all right.
It's like, how many points does Jeanette McCurdy score? The scales of justice are coming out.
4, because it's not quite an 8.
Not as good as Call of Duty.
Yeah, I liked. Do I like this more or Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2 more? Like, what is it? What are we doing here? It's like, well, yeah, but Skip and Loafer was good. Like, I don't know. And how do I feel about this versus Beastars? That's the beauty of it. We're comparing
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Well,
can we compare the two, possibly?
K-pop Demon Hunters, but like, yeah, we're comparing apples and hand grenades. Like, there's nothing. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And for that reason, yeah, I think it is. I'm holding back. I'm sorry, Mallory. It's really good. I feel like I have like 10 S tiers in me, period. Like, and one of them is
in your life.
In my life, yeah. In at least like a 5-year period, right? Like, I don't give a lot of 10 out of 10s. I don't give a lot of I don't give a lot of things. If there's a lot of caveats when I say something's one of my favorite things ever, right? Like, I'm like, it's my favorite thing ever. It sucks. Probably some psychological problems there that I need to work out at some point, like, but of just not being able to like things.
Yeah.
I'm glad my mom died.
It has to hit you specifically, I think.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel about it. It cannot just be a masterwork. It also has to be, like, personally resonant, like, life-defining work, right?
Right.
Keep trying. You're going to get there one day. It's come up. Listen, I've not stopped thinking about Deltarune's chapters 3 and 4, but I pitched that. Mwahaha. It's an A. Is all I'm trying to say here.
And that's A-okay.
Yes.
Jeanette, you'd be S rank for me any day. Obviously, this is obviously very impactful to me. I love speaking as if she's gonna be fucking watching this stupid.
If Deborah McCurdy like tried to make Jeanette play football, maybe it'd be an S,
Yeah, it's gotta hit specifically, I think for me the whole mom sacrificing thing, I clearly fixate on moms. This is not a secret. I make it very aware. It's kind of my brand. So it's like, it's got to hit you exactly like where it hurts, I think, to get that S rank. So I've got to
say I have a healthy relationship with my mother. It's what it is.
Yeah. It's I've got to like figure out if I really want to aim for the S rank with a genuine pitch, which is what I've been saying, what I want to do, like, because I even if I pitch something to you that you originally recommended to me, that wouldn't even feel like I've done it. Like, I want to give you something you've never heard of that's an S rank, right?
Yes.
And I think that I need to think more about like this is an example of something that resonates hugely with me and is hugely impactful to me. That's not the right approach. Like, I need to find something that I'm like, this seems like something Sam would be neurotic about. Like, this seems like something Sam would
you have to
and then
break me down as a human.
Yeah, but I'm glad we could talk about this book because it's awesome, and I always want people to read it because it's insane. Yeah.
I worked toward forgiveness for a really long time, and my therapist said to me one day, "What if you don't have to work toward forgiveness?" And I wept, and I knew that that's what I needed to hear.
Anyway, Sam, enough about trauma and mama, which is a new thing I'm coining, which is mom trauma. We got to get outside. We gotta see what's coming up next. What are you gonna be pitching me? What are we gonna be watching this week, or listening, or reading, or viewing?
In an effort to not pitch a third vampire story somehow, I shared a video with you that randomly came across my YouTube algorithm a few weeks ago. And out of context, it's just, I'm so curious about what this is, what's going on here. Is the comedian John Mulaney preparing and working in a writer's room and trying to figure out how to fight 3 children. And it has the energy of a Nathan Fielder bit, and apparently John Mulaney's been doing a live show on Netflix for like 2 seasons. We're not going to watch the first season because it has a different name. So we're going to dive right into the second season. We're going to watch Everybody's Live with John Mulaney, which came out a few months ago in this weird experiment that Netflix is doing of like live show content. You know, Colbert got canceled like 2 days ago. But we're diving into late night anyway. Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's a whole thing.
Wow.
It's probably because of a lawsuit that his network is having with the Trump administration. Late night's having a bit of a moment in a bad way, but I want to see John Mulaney fight 3 teenagers because I want to know what's up with this, because the clip does not resolve my curiosity.
We just got through this thing about child acting is horrible and sinister, and now we're gonna watch 3 boys fight John Mulaney.
Yeah, but
why
there's
does
a
he want to
purity
fight?
to John Mulaney like punching out like a child. Like we know, we all know that's wrong, and we can sit there and point and laugh at it. I guess there is a through line in a way.
Yeah, I guess we can find the connections.
Yes, so we're watching
crazy.
Not Everybody's Live LA or whatever the first season's called. We're watching Everybody's Live with John Mulaney. And we're not going to get any of the bits, and we're not going to understand any of it, but that's what we're doing. Something
I'm
funny.
so curious, because I think, like, my knowledge of John Mulaney is Stevie from The Bear, and I like him in that role. Prior to that, I saw him recommended in my feed, and something about his vibe, I was like, I don't like this guy. Which is like just I'm a way about comedians, I think, like that, where certain comedians I'm like, this guy, nuh-uh, which is just based on nothing.
I found him really funny, but also like maybe kind of fake. And then he went to rehab and divorced his wife in a kind of like tumultuous way. And now he's like sultry John Mulaney, and I find him even more funny. Even though there's like a darkness to him now, and I don't know. It's interesting. We can get into the Mulaney conversation. That's going to be troublesome next week. We'll get into it, but yeah, he's an interesting dude for sure. I don't know if he's a good person, but I think he's a very funny person.
I'd like to give him a chance. I feel like I'm judging him off of his appearance and not off of any of his jokes. And
you're like the only person our age who hasn't watched like Kid Gorgeous or like his other stand-up specials. Like, he is massive.
I have not heard of Kid Gorgeous. What is?
It's one of his stand-up specials, but like he's had some very, very viral. I feel like he's like one of the only stand-ups that like men and women our age like, if that makes sense, because I feel like a lot of stand-up goes in the like the very dude bro-y podcast venue sector, or like the Tom Segura's or like the Theo Vaughn's or Joe Rogan's of the world, or it's like hyper internet focused, and I feel like he's like the meeting of the two. I don't know.
It's very interesting. I brought him up to my brother in like a mean-spirited way and a joke, and my brother was like, I think he's cool. I'm like,
Mallory, I would dare say that he has a girly pop vibe that you may resonate with.
If John Mulaney can make it onto Diva of the Evening, then
possible.
You've done that. That would be phenomenal.
We'll find out next week.
But yeah, until then, I hope that you have a great rest of your day, Sam.
Thank you, Mallory. I hope you have a good evening. This has been fun. Why are we saluting now? What's the saluting? Is that a new thing or like?